Today we're going to talk about hip lick number 1. Now when I was writing the book, I had to decide what is going to be lick number 1. I've got like 288 licks between the two hip licks books. And when I did the page layout, it's like, okay, what is lick number 1? This is lick number 1. With good reason. Because it outlines a 2-5, in other words, a minor 7 chord going to a dominant 7 chord going in the cycle. So this one, it's my C minor 7 to my F7, okay? So it'll be contra B flat minor to contra D flat 7. If we listen to just the first note and the last note of the lick, you get this. Those are the roots of each of those chords, the C representing the C minor and the F representing the F7. In the middle of the lick, we've got the 7 resolving to the 3rd. The B flat is 7 of C minor. And then the A, I went down and hit the F, the bass note for the F7 chord. So, the lick is doing a lot of things at once. On the outer ends of the lick, we've got root and root. In the middle, exact middle of the lick, we've got the 7 to the 3 resolving. It's just to the right of the middle of the lick, actually. Now, the first part of the lick is just going up the minor 7 chord. And then the lick ends with the 3rd and the root of the dominant 7 chord. So, it works in a lot of ways because it's clear, it's easy to play, doesn't have that many notes, just 6 notes. It hits the root of both chords, and it has a voice leading of a 7 to a 3rd. So, it's very efficient in the way that it works, okay? Now, we can use it a lot of different ways. I'm going to show you a few things you can do with it. If you want to use the lick, say you want to come up with a few different ways of doing it, playing it, some variations, some simple variations on it. One of the things you can do is to just eliminate some notes, and you'll have nice variations, right? So, the original lick, what if we delete or mute the first note? Ah. It's a cool variation. It actually sounds nice to have one after the other with a slight variation between the two, rather than just a literal repeat of the exact same thing. Okay? Let's get rid of the second note. I got rid of the E flat. Turns into. So that's another nice variation. Let's get rid of the third note. Let's get rid of the fourth note. That works okay. I'm sort of missing the fact that we had that B flat, the 7 resolving to the A, but it is a variation, and it still works all right. Okay, let's get rid of the fifth note. This one has sort of the opposite effect. This gives the feeling of almost like an F suspended chord because I'm not resolving the B flat to the A. And then finally, let's leave off the final note. Sounds really cool to do that one, followed by the first one. Okay? So, these are all valid variations, and this is a good way to just kind of get your mind thinking about the concept of taking a small bit of material, of melodic material, and coming up with different ways of playing it, okay? So I want you to do this lick in 12 keys. Go in the cycle. In the hip licks book, we go in half steps descending, which is great. But I think in the beginning, this lick works well for the cycle if you're just starting to get a handle on the 12 key thing for this reason. Is you can repeat the final note, and that's the start of the new key for the lick, okay? go through all 12 for you so you can play it along with me if you like. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, notice I'm doing the mainstream articulation. I'm tonguing the upbeats and I'm slurring to the downbeats. I'm also doing a little bit of an accent at the end. So we've got some dynamic element happening. If we didn't have that, we just sound like this. It just kind of lays there. You got to have the dynamics. Much more exciting to listen to, right? Okay, if you get it in the cycle, try it chromatically descending, like I have it in the Hiplick's book, and as also ascending, okay? I'd like you to try to put this lick in a couple of common tunes, just so you can kind of see how you would do it. So say if you were doing, I'll just do a little bit of like a common standard, like maybe Satin Doll, something like that. You see it would fit really easily right in there, okay? Try to look for tunes that have 2 5s, 2 beats apiece, and see what it's like to plug the lick in. It just will open up your ear and let you kind of hear where you could place it if you chose to do so. All right? So have fun with that. Lick 1. Get it slow at first. Get it in 12 keys. Do it by ear. It's really best, okay? I'm going to write it out in a few keys in the PDF, but it's best if you do it by ear. It's going to be, the faster you can get off that page, the better off you're going to be, and the more it's going to be a part of you then. When I was studying with Joe Henderson, I asked him once in a lesson, can I write this down? He's like, write it down in your mind. He said, if that paper blows away, you lose it, it's lost. If you write it down in your mind, it's yours forever. You got it the rest of your life. You got it. And that was a good point. And I got to tell you, as soon as he told me I couldn't write it down, man, I never thought I could concentrate so intensely as when Joe Henderson said, you can't write this down. I want you to just do it now. Write it down in your mind. So that being said, I was really, I took a lot of notes as a student. I took a lot of notes. I had journals, practice journals. I like to write things down to keep a record of what I was working on. But his point was well taken. He wanted me to really focus on the sound of it. So I can see it from both ways. You know, you should have good detailed notes of your practice session, of what you're working on. On the other hand, you don't want to have to always be reading things. So write something out in 1 or 2 keys and try to do the rest by ear. Let your ear do the heavy lifting, not this intellect where you're figuring out theory, because it's all ear training. It all boils down to hearing it, and then your finger's job is to find the location, the sound that you're hearing, okay? So we're going to use lick 1 for that purpose with this lesson. But try to get that lick number 1, man. It is so useful. It's like the word and or of or something. It comes up a lot, and you're gonna find that it's very useful when you get that together, okay? And it's going to give you a nice fluency of the horn, and your minor 7th chords ascending are going to be totally smoking because it's part of the lick. All right? Have fun with that one. I'll see you soon.